He goes, I will not touch this with a 10-foot pole. There were three things that stuck. I will not touch this with a 10-foot pole. I will not touch this because somebody's going to lose their license and it's not going to be me. And I would tell you to get an attorney, but here's the thing. They will always have more money than you, and they will drag you out to the point that you just don't have any more money. And then they're going to go after you for their attorney fees, because once you let it drop, they can go after you for their attorney fees.
Last time you heard how we got into this house. The guarantee she was promised in writing, the inspection report that said satisfactory on everything from the roof to the wiring, closing day just 2 weeks before Christmas, and all the discovery that followed. Rot under the floors, wiring that nobody flagged, a roof that needs a full replacement, and yes, a stranger who was found living underneath her home. If you haven't heard part 1 yet, go back and listen first, because this won't make sense without it. So when all of this went down, she picked up the phone and asked the brokerage to make good on that guarantee. But what happened next isn't what she expected.
So let's go back to this guaranteed piece of paper. So you go back to this massive team in brokerage in the middle of Florida and say, this home's falling apart. I don't feel I was represented correctly. I did sign this paper with a guaranteed buyback. So how do I initiate the buyback? And then what happened?
So initially I called the brokerage because I wasn't sure, do I need to talk to the team or the broker? And it took me a very long time to even get through to the broker. He finally got back to me after I was like, okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to go to social media. If he doesn't get back to me by the end of business tomorrow, I'm going to go to social media. And they're like, oh no, he always calls back. I'm like, well, that's not what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Surprise. He called me in like 10 minutes. And he's like, okay. And he acted very concerned. He's like, I don't really know about this. That's a team thing, not a brokerage.
On your paperwork, it's usually the agent and there's usually the broker that's in charge.
Right. Let me double check because I don't want to do something that is not.
Yeah.
So under broker, it's both of our on it.
So nobody wants to take responsibility and answer your phone call, but on your document has the name of the brokerage as the broker in charge.
Yep.
And then the salesperson underneath. And the team is listed with the broker in charge. So like they're both pointing to each other, it sounds like, as you call. So he finally calls you back. And I'm guessing that goes nowhere.
So he was really nice. He's like, this is a lot of information. I need to do some more research. Like, do I want to make sure I'm informed and I give you the correct answer. Okay, fair. I understand, like, this is a lot that I'm dumping on his plate. And at this point, I don't even realize how bad it is.
Yeah.
Because it's still pretty early on. And he's like, can you send me an email? He sends me a text. And I said, okay. I said, it's a lot. It's probably going to be tomorrow before I get it to you because it is a lot. He's like, that's fine. My husband and I went to the movies that night because my mom was in town and was watching the dogs. She's like, you need a day.
Yeah.
So while I was at the movies, actually, I was typing things in because AMC is my nap place at this point. 10 out of 10 recommend AMC Stubs. But they, by the next day I get it sent out and I text him like, hey, I just wanted to make sure you received this. He said he received it and he said he would get back to me after the holiday. That was May 22nd. Never heard back from him. And it's not like I didn't try. I've emailed, I've texted, I've called, I've left voicemails. I've done all of the things to the point that my husband and I just showed up at his office and he was on vacation, but he never does.
Was he though? Was he on vacation?
Who knows?
The broker is ignoring you. What about the team lead of this mega team?
So the team lead of that office, the team at that office, I spoke, she's the one who came up and I think they messed up because they mentioned that she was in a meeting and she would call me at 1:00 and I was like, I'll wait.
Yeah. But
somebody else prior, after handing me their card, because you're going to have to sell your home. Here's my card. Because again, that's where I want to go. And they had mentioned that the meeting was downstairs. So I was like, I'll wait. And they're like, oh, well, you don't have to. I'm like, nope, I'll wait. I brought a book. My husband brought a Steam Deck. We'll wait. And she did. She made us wait. Fine. Whatever. We waited. And she goes, she gets there and she goes over things and she's like, well, I know you were told that's how the guarantee works, but that's not how it works. And I was like, well, okay, but if I was told that, then that's how it should. She goes, well, she must be misinformed. What it is we will sell it for you for free and you'll get a guaranteed price, but we can't guarantee it's going to be the price that you bought it at. I'm like, well,
but the flyer you were given says they would buy it back at some point. And
Yep.
their advertising says they would buy it back, right?
Yep. And she's
Okay.
like, well, that's if it doesn't sell, but it's going to sell. And it's just, it may not sell at what you purchased
Would
it.
it sell for what? What did they, we'll get to that. I'm skipping ahead because I'm just so
Yeah.
busy. Okay. So she gives you the runaround that the guarantees apparently bullshit. And so now they're sending people out to your house to tell you what it's worth, correct?
They said they were going to, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So she's going to send somebody out. She sent this agent, very nice kid. I guarantee he's been in the business less than a year. I don't know that for sure, but I would guess, just talking to him. This poor guy, he walks in the door, and I was in a mood. I'm going to be real. I was in a mood, and I'm like, oh, welcome to my shit show. Here's the fireplace. It's one of the reasons we purchased the home. It's just a tarp right now. It's our new water feature. This is our very large living space. I'm sorry, it's packed with boxes. We can't unpack, and we've repacked a lot. And like I walk him around the house, and his face just gets like you can just see it in his face. And finally, I was like, okay. I said, I'm starting to feel like you didn't know what you were coming into. He's like, they just told me that I was supposed to explain the program and put it on the market, put the house on the market. He had no clue. And I'm showing him like he sees my 4 or 5 inch binder. I've got a file of stuff, and he goes, I can't. And just every like document everything he asks, he's like, it just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. And I said, okay, well, you're supposed to tell me what the guaranteed price is. What is it? He goes, I will not touch this with a 10-foot pole. There were three things that stuck. I will not touch this with a 10-foot pole. I will not touch this because somebody's going to lose their license, and it's not going to be me. And I would tell you to get an attorney, but here's the thing. They will always have more money than you, and they will drag you out to the point that you just don't have any more money. And then they're going to go after you for their attorney fees, because once you let it drop, they can go after you for their attorney fees. It was one of like the most disheartening, like,
oh yeah.
I was like, wow. Like, and I've heard the stories of, these corporations are always bigger, but like, this is just, wow. And he's like, I'm going to go back to the team and let them know, like, not only are you not exaggerating, there's no way in that time, like you could even give them a full picture of what it is. So I'll let them know, and somebody will get back to you. Of course, nobody gets back to me. Surprise. Yeah. So I send a final email. I'm like, I guess this is the final email. And that's the first time I posted on TikTok, was right after that, because nobody got back to me even after that email. Surprise, like 2 days later, I get an email from the lead I'd spoken with at the office. And she's like, because of utmost importance, we're gonna put you with, one of our top corporate agents, and he knows everything. And I specified, I'm like,
corporate agents. Oh my God.
So he's gonna be able to tell me like what the guaranteed price is, because it's gonna be a Zoom meeting. Like, is he gonna be able to tell me what the guaranteed price is? Is he gonna be able to tell me anything? And she's like, everybody has access to the same information, which makes me even angrier, because I have both the selling and listing agent are the same thing. So they should have had access to that seller's disclosure. Right. But everybody has access to the same thing. He'll have access to it. He'll be able to explain all of our programs in great detail. He couldn't. Surprise. He gets on the phone and he's like, well, we're going to list it for $200,000. And I was like, but it's not going to sell for $200,000.
Yeah, what's it worth?
So the AJ who had been here, and multiple agents I've spoken to and have looked at it, but they've said between 40 and 50 at best. If I'm very, very lucky, 60,000. And for that,
that'll be is that their guaranteed price then?
Oh no, they won't give a guaranteed price. Because I was like, so is this 200,000 the guaranteed price? He's like, I don't know. I've never heard of a situation like this. I'm like, of course, nobody has apparently. Like, and he's like, well, I'm actually working with the head, the CEO and the president. I'm meeting with them this weekend, and this week I will talk to them directly about the situation and see what their answer is. He was going to call me back. I want to say it was Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day it was. He didn't. I sent an email that day, and then he called back. Mm-hmm. And on that call, I actually have the whole call on TikTok. It's like, I think it's like 4 or 5 videos, because I put the whole call on there. Yeah. And it's, okay, what are we going to list it for? I don't know. They just told me to list it. Okay, well then what's the plan after that? I don't know. Okay, well, this isn't a plan. It is a plan. No, it's not. Well, the first step is to list it. Okay, well, that's the first step of a plan, but no other details. And like, he wants me to sign for them to list it, but with nothing. And I'm not going to do that.
No, because in my opinion, it'll be like, well, the guaranteed price is 60,000. And if it were to sell for that, what would you owe? What would you owe to the mortgage company?
100,000. Because I looked at the mortgage this morning, because I paid the mortgage this morning. It's like 158.8, I think, is what we owe on it right now. Because we're at the beginning part of the loan.
Yeah. Everything is just interest. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, it's not going to sell for that. He's like, well, that would be a short sale. And I was like, okay, well, and at this point, I understand how short sales work. I've looked into stuff.
Yeah.
There is I doubt a lender would even agree to this short sale. But for, shits and grin, I asked him, and he's like, well, we have an attorney in office you would use. And, we're going to
use the attorney of the office of the people that got you in this position.
Right. And I'm like, and who would be representing the property? It would be the broker that I met with. But he'd be my point of contact, but it'd be that same broker, and I was like, oh, great. So the person who sent me my seller's disclosure nearly a week after I closed with the subject line for compliance, smiley face.
For compliance, smiley face. Oh, God. Oh.
And my agent who made it sound like it was about the open permit, knowing we had no internet access because we couldn't get to the wall that had internet. And our service here is spotty at best. So my husband had to go drive somewhere to fill it out. And that is, we take full responsibility. He thought that I had read it. He thought that it was about the permit. And so he just went, signed it, came back, got his phone because he couldn't fill them both out, and then did it on his. So we signed it technically 2 days apart because it was right after midnight.
So they gave you the seller's disclosure after you closed, and then with a smiley face asked you to sign it
for compliance.
So you weren't given it until after you closed.
And I was told by the agent, basically, if we didn't get that signed right away, it could undo closing. And we may not even be able to stay there that night if that's the case. So, I'm surrounded by boxes. It's the first day my husband's had off, and we're playing musical boxes because all of my Christmas boxes and my tools, everything is inside the house because the shed's full, and I'm like, can you just, and my husband's like, you know more about it. Can you go I'm like, it's about the stupid permit. Can you, can you handle one thing? And he's like, okay.
Yes, my mental capacity is at max. Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, and I'm going to get you food while I'm out. And I was like, hey. He's like, maybe that'll help. And I was like, thank you. Go away.
I'm stressed and hangry. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Just go away.
And so where does it stand now?
It's radio silence right now. I gave them, I worked really hard to give them multiple options. And I told them at the end of the day, you're going to make a choice by today, this week, you're going to make a choice. And it's the same thing I tell my kids, when I work, I sub on occasion, not making a choice is making a choice. And that's that fifth choice of I'm going to have to go public. And so that's kind of where we're at, and just trying to figure out the best bad option.
Do they even acknowledge? I'm sure they don't, right? That they messed up.
So in the phone call, the agent, he's like, yeah, he goes, there was a lot of things that got messed up here. Not just your agent. He's very clear. He's like, not just us. So
but you.
It's been acknowledged, things are messed up, but it's a lot of, well, it's not just my fault, it's somebody else's fault. So it's not us at all.
When you did have people come out to figure out what it would cost to fix this is the number of people from what I've seen online can't wrap their head around to replace this and fix everything would cost what? Because I even saw your roof estimates ranged from $11,000 to $20-some thousand, and the $11,000 one did not include taking the solar off and putting it back on.
None of them include taking the solar.
None of them. Okay,
So all of the roof estimates. So the roofers were who we had out first, because obviously that was kind of when we found that situation. When my dad found that situation, the roof was obviously the first concern. We thought that was really the vast, the cause. It come to find out it's not the only cause, but it's a big one. And they were really looking at just that area because the solar's on there. They couldn't inspect the entire roof. So those quotes really are only to reshingle, to take, it's not even taking out the flashing, it's just putting a new flashing on the chimney, but we would actually have to pull it out because there's no fireplace. It's been pulled out now. And it includes, I think the most it includes is 5 sheets of plywood, which wouldn't even touch it. But in reality, now that we know what we know, the whole roof has to be replaced and rebuilt because all the walls have to be taken down.
And then to even just buy a new mobile home and put it on the property of the size that you have, what does that go for nowadays?
So replacing the home, all in, would be $260, which a lot of people are like, why would you pay $260 for a mobile home? I'm like, I don't think you understand. That's all in. That's the permitting, new foundation, because our foundation is bad. It's washing out. When the people that did the foundation work, I found out they only did this side of the trailer. They didn't do that side. So, and that still needs to be done. And he's like, I see it washing out in the next 5 years.
That's nice.
Right. I was like, yeah, so great. Let me add that to my list. But because it's always something. But that's all in. That's even if because we've really tried to be as fair as possible, and do what we can to make the cost as low as possible. So that's us staying here till like this one's demolished. And as long as we are only like, it only takes 2 months to get the new unit in and permitting and inspections done. It's $260. That's even a place for us to stay, storage, and all of that.
Yeah. Okay. Because I saw the comments of people, because everything you say, which is not uncommon in the real estate world, for everyone to think you're full of shit. Because heaven forbid this ever happened to a consumer, because everybody's allegedly perfect in real estate, which unfortunately I can tell them that's not the case. Yeah. I've seen and heard way too much. So just for those jerks out there who don't understand why, and that 300,000, like, we're not even talking about the amount you put down, what you put through, what you paid in closing cost, what you paid probably in inspections and research and repairs since you've lived there, and since December, I'm sure it's more than $300,000.
If we were to fix it, it would be well over 300,000, and that doesn't include like the drywall work, the paint, and things like that, because everything has to be replaced, everything down to the frame. And most contractors have stated, they're like, I don't even know if the county will allow you to do that. We've never done that because it's stupid.
Right.
But even the AC caught on fire at one point because the wiring's bad in that. Like, there is nothing that can be saved.
Yeah. And then your insurance, from an insurance standpoint, you got a letter from them, right?
Yep. As of July 31st, so today, they are going to reassess. So as of the 1st, we won't have homeowners insurance. I've called like multiple brokers, and they're like, we really don't know we don't know. I get a lot of I don't knows. We're just going to have to see. It's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
But they've all said they're basically best case scenario, they give me an additional 3 months. The best case scenario after that is they're like, okay, we're going to force bind insurance, and our insurance will go up $1,000 to $2,000 a month because we're in a flood zone and it's nearly impossible. Or worst case scenario, there's a very real possibility they can't even force bind insurance, which it doesn't insure us or our items, which a lot of people don't understand, but it's just for the lender. But if they can't force bind insurance, the lender will call the loan and basically give us 60 to 90 days to pay off the entire loan. Right. And at that point, there's no other option but to foreclose, because what then?
I want to talk about the aftermath of this, from two things, how this affects you, and by sharing your story, what would you have done differently that other buyers should pay attention to? So first, how this has affected you, like physically, mentally, your animals, your life in general.
This is my full-time job. I'm very fortunate. I actually did a video earlier today that I'm very fortunate. My husband makes enough money that it's tight and we struggle because of it, but I'm able to not work. I'm a substitute teacher. And so I've obviously during the summer, I don't work. I was given the opportunity to do summer school, and I turned it down because I need to be here.
Can't leave your house. Yeah.
Right. And I usually do like resales or whatever. Like I sell things on Macari and I pick up things to make just a little bit of extra money. I can't do that because I don't feel comfortable buying things, bringing them into this house, and then sending them out to people. Like there's mold in the home. It's just not fair. So I'm not working right now. This is my life. I can't use my bedroom. I sleep on the couch a lot because my husband works overnights. So I know like our sleeps overlap, and I don't want to like, I guess necessarily get up as early as he comes to bed.
Yeah.
So I sleep on the couch a lot with sometimes all three of my very large dogs. Like it's on, like if I'm in a small couch, but they've all found a way to like sleep on top.
They have no spatial awareness. Mine are 55 and like 40 pounds probably. And like, think they're puppies. Like,
my 35 pound, I have to hold her like a toddler every night. So I have her, and then I have a 65 pound and then a 45 pound. So those
three dogs cannot go. You have a whole fenced in yard that they can't use.
No, they're on the leash because it's not only the needles. There's also like the fireplaces sitting out there. We can't get rid of anything because it's destroying evidence. If we were to get rid of it, it's stupid. But at the end of the day, like that they can use that as a defense of, well, they destroyed evidence. We didn't get to look at it.
Yeah.
Not that there's really much, like we have it covered with a tarp, but at this point, like it's just mush, I'm sure at this point anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they can't be out there because they can also get under the home with the needles. So they can't run around. They also don't have like the space. Like I mentioned, like I wanted them to be able to like run around in this circle, and it's hard. Like I have to climb up on a ladder, 3-4 times a day to clean the vents because there's condensation on the vents. And if I don't, there's mold. So, there's a lot of like me telling them, calm down.
Yeah.
I have one dog with anxiety who feels it in her soul because she already has high anxiety. She was found in a crate welded shut. She was a crate case. So her anxiety is, she's my just little bubble of anxiety.
Yeah, I'm sure she can feel it off of you too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not immune to it.
My husband and I, our marriage, like we've had more than one argument over this because there's been days that I'm like, I just want to stop, and there's days that he's like, I'm over this. Luckily, those never like
are the same day, right?
I think there's been one time, and I told my mom, I'm like, I said, I think we're just gonna foreclose on the house, and she's like, absolutely not, like, do not do that, like, and then she called my brother and my sister-in-law, like a bunch of people, like have talked me off a ledge. We don't have family really or friends in the area, but I have a lot of support like elsewhere. So this is basically my full-time job right now, and I won't back down at this point. I know they think that I will, and I don't know why.
They hope you will. Yeah.
They think I'm going to get tired of it, but I've now got the time. Like that is all I do.
But what kills me is like, you're so kind to them about this. Like, let's work together. Help me figure this out. I even saw at one point, you're like, we'll pack our own stuff. Whatever we can do to save on costs, we'll do it. Like we need help. Like this isn't working, and it's just nothing.
And we're willing to do a lot. Like the pre-demo, that took like, I want to say like between $5,000 and $10,000 off of the demolition costs. Is us like pre-demoing, making sure all the electric wires are like, there's a bunch that like had to be like pre-demo work. We were willing to do that. We're willing to take the fence out ourselves. All of like the bushes and things, those all have to come out. All of the pavers. We're willing to pack everything but they have to hire movers because I can't anymore. I have a china cabinet that I caught it with my face at one point. I'm never doing that again.
Oh, yeah. Heck no. You shouldn't need to. I mean,
right. We've paid for movers once already. We shouldn't have to. But yeah, they don't. I've tried to be reasonable, and I explained, like I said, they made their choice. Realistically speaking, this is the most expensive choice they could have made. I know there is a video, and I posted it, of her marketing being like the head. She's like, our agents average, a triple.
Oh yeah, how much money they make? I saw that.
We netted $40 million. I think it was what it was.
And it's a shame. Like honestly, it's a shame that most consumers have to get to this point. Like I think people see your videos and just think you're out for something, but in my experience, when a consumer gets this far that they have to go on social media, it's because they have exhausted everything. I
have much better things I would like to do with my time. I would much rather be working with foster
kids. Life.
Working with foster kids. I mean, my reading, I read, I think 47 books. I finished my 47th book for the year. I haven't read this much in a very long time.
Yeah.
So my reading is up, I guess, but I can't scrapbook. I can't, work. I can't do anything. This is our life.
Can't leave your house.
Yeah.
So then for buyers listening, like maybe your top 5 things that you, looking back, would have done differently, or maybe that gut check that you kind of ignored because someone told you not to worry about it.
Yep. I think a lot of it, when I look at it, a lot of it's that, you don't know what you don't know. I've said that so many times, and hindsight is 20/20, and because it is. And I think the biggest thing I would tell people is get every single thing in writing. And I'm talking everything. I would have as few conversations in person or on the phone as possible. And when you do, ask them if you can record it. And if they don't let you record it, honestly, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
But if for some reason you don't record it, can't record it, forget to record, whatever, follow it up with an email. That way it gives them the opportunity, and then ask them, hey, I need you to reply to this.
Yeah.
But also be aware, just because you have something in writing doesn't protect you, unfortunately. Because like that agent said, these companies have a lot more money, and they bank on that. And there's a lot of things that I have it in writing, and I've been flat out told, like that last conversation I had with the corporate agent, he goes, I don't know what you signed, but we have a lot of programs, and this is the program we're going to go with. We're going to go with the guaranteed sale. And I'm like, well, what's the guaranteed sale price? And he's like, oh no, that's not the program we're going with. We're going to sell it for free. That's what I mean. It's not that we're going to guarantee, we're going to sell it for free, but it's not free. So I think that's a big thing. Like, even when you get everything in writing, you're like, I hate to say that because I have had one person, they commented, they're like, this is the most depressing thing I've ever heard. And I'm like, it is. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Really sucks. Because I feel like I asked a lot more questions and did a lot more research than a lot of buyers do. I looked every license up with the DBPR before I did it. I hired them. Even the inspector, like, I didn't just necessarily just trust her. I looked up her their reviews, and I looked up his license. I did find out, also like, keep in mind, which is just a random like thing I learned, is there's another inspector with almost the exact same name as my inspector. And when I was actually trying to get the E&O insurance, I couldn't get to my file cabinet. So I didn't have like his contact information like right on hand.
Yeah.
And so I called and I was like, hey, I need your E&O insurance. He's like, absolutely. Like, may I ask what this is regarding? And I kind of explained. He's like, please. Like, and the guy was so kind on the phone. He's like, please. He's like, I can't believe I would miss something like that. Please. He goes, can you send me X, Y, and Z? And I sent it. And he goes, so he actually called me back. And he's like, hey, I didn't want to just text this to you. He goes, just so you know, we have the same name with like 3-letter difference. He goes, I get these calls all the time. He goes, I also get a lot of reviews for him on my Google review, and I have to dispute it and point out like I didn't do their contract. So I am sure if he's getting their reviews, I'm sure he's getting some of theirs, because that guy, I actually ended up doing some research on that company, and that inspector is very, very good. He's like top-notch inspector. So even with all of the questions, all of the research, there's a lot, but I think do every single thing you can to protect yourself. I found there's 2 types of inspectors: really, really good and not worth anything. The number of inspectors I've had on that have been like, we're just generalists. Like, how are we supposed to know any of that? I understand you're not supposed to look into walls, but there were so many signs: holes in the walls, rotting windowsills. Like, there were signs. Another thing I think is inspectors have been sued so often on random things. They've learned how to protect themselves, even in the wrong. Every section of every inspection report, after every section, it says, if we didn't catch it, we're not liable.
Yep.
There are so many inspections you can get for free. And I knew this beforehand because the previous property, I had an electrician. I called them. I told them I was looking at a home. It was a 1941 home. I was concerned about the electric. They did the inspection for free. They won't do like a written report for you.
Yeah.
But they will come and look at it and give you a quote for free. Roofers will do that. Foundation, pest control. Like, there are so many companies. They will come and look at it for free, even knowing like you're purchasing the home. Just like be nice to them and let them know, hey, here's my situation, because they know, hey, they may not get that deal then. But like, I know that electrician, he's like, I wouldn't put my dog in this house. He's like, I understand I'm not getting your business, but in the future, think of me. I've recommended him. I can't tell you how many times, so many times. And he's like, hey, if you could give my information to your realtor, I'd be happy to do this with other buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
So that's definitely an opportunity people have. I won't ever work with a big team again. I'll tell you that much. I've seen a lot of people in the comments that are like, this is why we don't need realtors. And I would never say that, because we do need realtors. We do need them. We need good realtors. But there have been so many people in the comments that are like, why are we even paying them if this is what's happening? I've had a lot of realtors also like tell me like, you're making it hard for other realtors. You're making it hard for people to trust realtors.
Then get rid of these people. Like, I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a justification. Like, well, I didn't do it. And it's great. Then help me clean this up. Help me get rid of the people that do it, so that we don't have to have these conversations. Like, stop letting people get away with stuff. Report them. Have the commission hold them accountable. Have your association hold them accountable.
Well, and I don't know, I know it's different in every state, but like in the state of Florida, so we have the DBPR and FREC kind of run everything. And a lot of people I've been told like, hey, why haven't you reported them? Because I haven't yet, mostly because attorneys have told me like, wait, because at the end of the day, I can report them. Even if they're fined, we don't get that money.
No.
The DBPR gets that money. There are cases where there's like a special fund that some of those fines go into that you can get up to $50,000 per transaction. they don't hold them up accountable. I've had a lot of people be like, hey, have you talked to them about like doing mediation? They don't do that. That's not what they do. They are nothing more but another money making entity.
Yeah.
Yep. I called the governor's office and they're like, we don't deal with that. That's the DBPR. I said, okay, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And I've had people
and quite frankly, in most states, the commission board is run by other real estate agents, their business partners, with very few states having a bulk of like actual consumer seats. In my state, there's still a consumer seat that's been empty for like 5 years. So
no, because nobody wants to do it. And I know I've had a lot of people, they're like, so are you going to do real estate? Like, there's not enough money in the world. No, because I don't want to deal with the people. Like, I've met a lot of really great realtors in this process and a lot of great people in the industry, but I don't want to deal with the assholes because honestly, there have been more negative realtors, especially like at the beginning before a lot of it. I got everything out, but there have been so many realtors that are basically, you put yourself in this position. You made this choice. Nobody forced you to sign. Nobody forced you to close.
Yeah. And then you know what I say to them? Then stop saying you're an expert and that you're guiding your clients, because that's how you got there. You were guided following their expertise. So if you don't want to be an expert, you can't say that. And
I don't think my agent necessarily knew how bad it was. I think she 100% knew that there were issues with the home. I do. I absolutely, and I can't say that for sure, but I do.
Yeah.
But also the home prior to this, we were looking at gutting the whole kitchen. So she knew that my dad had a lot of renovation experience. In fact, like when he opened that fireplace, I opened it first and I was like, oh, it smells. I had that like musty smell. And I was like, it's wet. And he's the one who cut like the bigger hole and looked in it. He goes, oh my fucking God. He's rehabbed houses for 50 years. He has seen some shit. So I told him I couldn't look at it. I didn't look inside of there for 2 days. I didn't look at it until my husband showed me the bones that had been pulled out of there because there were like 35 to 50 carcasses in there of animals, like large animals.
Oh my God. Ew, gross.
Yeah. Like I have a spine. I think it's a raccoon. Like, and any other, like if I found it on the side of the road or in my yard, I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I'm part of a group on Facebook with a bunch of women. And I was like, look what I found. They're like, that's so cool. I'm like, but it was in my wall. And they're like, not
it's not cool when it's in your house.
Yeah, not so cool. But I have a friend, she's like, can you send that to me? Like she collects like oddities and stuff. She goes, can you send? I'm like, after everything's done, yes. If you want these bones, because I have
the post office let you send that?
Oh yeah. You can
yes, they would.
Yeah, you can send just about anything. I mean, you can send. I mean, I sent my dog's ashes to be put into like a ring. So I think,
oh my God, I'm going to do that. We lost our older dog in September. And I keep telling my husband, I'm doing it. Like I'm getting a ring. I'm getting a diamond made out of him. Like, I'm doing it.
Took me a very long time. Like, my soul dog, like my wedding ring broke while we were renovating. My wedding band broke. So, cause everything else, why not? And so my new band, it's going to be a stone with my soul dog's ashes. So. Yeah.
Oh my God, me and my mailman, we're like buddies. And I still remember when he had to pull up with that box and I was like, oh, this is fucking horrible. Like when it comes to, look, I'm getting upset. Oh my God. It was like almost a year ago and it's still
I couldn't have mine mailed. Like I was like, no, I will pick her up. Like I sat in the parking lot until she was taken away. And then I was there. Like I remember being so angry. As soon as they told me she had been there for like 2 days before they called the wrong number. And so I had called him like, hey, she's supposed to be back already. And they're like, oh, she's been here for 2 days. And I remember being so angry, but like, I was up there and they were kind enough to like stay open for me to come get her. But
yeah. Oh, look at me. I'm the hot mess. Oh my God. It's weird how much it hits you. Like, this isn't even real estate related, but like when they're there that long and then they're not, and we have another dog since. I still have 2. But it's weird. You can talk about it one day and then one day you talk about it and you're like this, you're getting ready to cry and you're like, what the fuck is wrong?
Random video pops up. Like,
we have covered all of life's spectrums today. Jesus. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry you're dealing with this and that nobody wants to accept responsibility. Like, and I think that's the worst part of all these stories is like, they go on with their life and they close more deals and they're making more money and you are physically, emotionally, financially stuck in so many ways.
Yeah, I know on the last call, he was like, because I was like, I said, we'd be better off, because they were really pushing the short sale. I'm like, I would foreclose before I did a short sale with you because why would I do a short sale at this point with the way it is? It would cost us so much in closing costs and attorney fees because we'd have to go with their attorney too, of course. But I was like, and he's like, oh, well, if you do that, it's going to be on your record learn. I'm like, or I could file bankruptcy at that point. And he goes, I know a good bankruptcy. And he like laughed about it. I know a good bankruptcy attorney. And then at the end of the call, he's like, I know this is going to sound bad. Because I asked him, like, okay, who do I talk to and how do I find the answers? And it was silent for like 10 seconds. And he goes, I know this is going to sound bad, but I have an the AC guys here and it's hot. I'm like, I know it's hot. Like I have holes in my wall. My AC constantly runs and I can't get it cooler than 70 at night. Like,
yeah,
it hits 80. I think it hit 85 the other day inside my house with the AC running. Like, I know that it's hot. Thank you. I'm aware.
Yeah. Help me fix it, please.
Yeah.
Oh, assholes. I can't. So, okay. For people that want to know your story, I'm going to link your TikTok channel to this episode so people can find it. A couple rules. If you're an asshole and you judge people based on the home they buy, do not go. Do not complain that you have to dig through her stories because
it's a lot.
But you have so much factual, legitimate information. You're answering people's questions kindly. Like, just watch. I don't know what else to tell you, but I feel like you're in TikTok jail like me. I must have pissed off the TikTok gods because I'm sure I did because I report their advertisers constantly for lying to consumers. So I'm sure that doesn't get me many brownie points. But, for people that are curious, all of your videos are on there, recordings, you're reading what's on the paper. You are so great at keeping this organized and explaining. And you're so kind and patient with them to this point that I don't understand how they leave you hanging because I feel like it's only going to go down from here. Like you've been kind for so long.
I think they're taking kindness and my patience for weakness, but what they don't realize, had they dealt with this early on, they probably could have, which, I mean, good for me. At that beginning, we thought that it was, maybe $100,000. They probably would have possibly been able to get away with being, okay, here's $100,000, deal with it. And we would have been shit out of luck. But every day I find out more. I find out I was lied to about the appraisal fee, like all of these things.
So the lady that I would comment about runs an appraisal organization. So if you have questions, which you did find out, you were charged all these excess fees for the appraisal, but you found out it's because they were ordering them as a rush instead of ordering them on time. But they didn't tell you that. They just, Way to go, in-house lender. Way to go. Good job.
Yeah. It was a lot, but like, they could have come out way earlier. But I mean, at this point, here we are.
Well, thank you for sharing this. I'm going to direct people to your videos so they can understand what's happening. If there's any lawyers out there, please go watch it so you can help figure out how this gets resolved before it gets to a point where they are financially ruined, because that's what they're leaving with you. In my opinion, that's where they're leaving you.
That's what they're hoping, that we just run out of money and we're just stuck.
Go away. Yep. Too bad. Not necessarily going to happen.
So that's where things stand. A guarantee that was supposed to protect her. A home that wasn't what was promised, and months later, still no resolution. Just some proposals sent, visits made, and silence in between. But here's what gets me about this one. She didn't do anything wrong. She checked the boxes everyone tells you to check, vetted her agent, read the guarantee, trusted the inspection, and still ended up fighting for months just to be heard by the people who helped put her in this position in the first place. And that's why this show exists, to make stories like hers heard, so they don't disappear into some customer service inbox somewhere. If this made you angry, good. Send it to someone who's about to buy a house. And if you've been through something like this yourself, we want to hear it, because that's what this show's for. This is Real Estate Caught Out, and I hoped you weren't listening, but of course you were. See you next week.